amazing speakers. Thank you for coming.
Sorry, folks.
So our first presenter tonight is Wally Cooper, and he is one of the founding principals of CSRA, and okay, that's close. Okay, and throughout his career he's done a lot of restoration work, and he's here because he did this fabulous building that we're having our event in tonight. So he's going to show us kind of some of the process of making this building.
To go button or do I? All right. The jails or Bob Begg's house on the left started in 1907. The Watts Garage came along after that. These two buildings comprise this complex. The two buildings had been vacant for 10 years, 12 years, purchased by Park City before they were sold to David Perkins and a team of investors. And that's over to 20 seconds. This is a new experience, folks. This project sits on a very tight site, and that was one of the challenges of doing the project. Okay, are we on? We're going to go through a couple slides here just showing you what the interior was like. It had suffered from neglect for many, many years. Rain and water got into it. It had totally disintegrated and deteriorated on the inside of the building. We carefully photographed the entire building, documented the building. This building received state historic tax credits as well as federal tax credits. And so it was important to document the building. This was the old machinist room. This garage did service vehicles and functioned as such until the early 1990s. The building, when you walk through the building, there's just a strong sense of history in this building as well as in the house. You really could feel, and that's strange to say, but you really could feel the history of this building because there was just a lot of oil, there was a lot of grime, there was a lot of earthiness about this building when we took it over. You could see the many changes that had taken place in the building as the building found different uses. All of the buildings in Park City, and also almost all of the buildings in Park City, were built as temporary structures. What you're seeing here is the footing for this particular building. So each column had a stone that was about 16 inches by 16 inches under the column, and that was the structure. Well, over the years that had settled. In order to do this project, we had to script the restoration of the building from the very beginning. So we used SketchUp to do that. And we're going to go through this. So the first thing we did was we started to disassemble this building. We documented every piece of this building, cut it into sections, documented those sections, hauled those sections off to another site where the sections were, I'll say restored. Restored is not quite the right word because the deterioration was so extensive that we had to do major rebuilding of this building on another site. Before anything could be taken out of here, it was trussed into smaller sections. So everything was supported so that nothing moved. Everything then was laid down on a flatbed on another site, the trussing taken off, and each piece then opened up and subject to complete reconstruction. We then moved the Beggs house, so we had dinner there, onto this site. So this building's gone. We moved the house over to this side and dug the footing and foundation for the building for the house to our south here. After the footing and foundation was completed, we then moved the building back. It's interesting, this is the only shot I could find of the house being moved. Moving the house was fairly easy. We've done a number of those as a firm, and the contractor had done a number of them, and Bob Wells out of Utah County has done a gazillion of them. And so it was, moving that house was not a difficult procedure. We then dug the hole for this building. The bulk of the distillery is down below us. I hope some of you have a chance to maybe get a tour of this building. If you ask for it, they probably would set something up for you. But down below us is the distillery operation, the kitchen. So we finished the footing and foundation, and then we erected the steel moment frames. You can see them along the side here. That became the structure for the building. We then started to hang all of the structure you see in here off of that steel framework. The trusses are supporting the roof, but the major loads, the major gravity loads and sizing loads are carried by the steel. We then started bringing everything back, begin the SketchUp. We went over this with the contractor and the owner on numerous occasions, the sequence of operation to bring everything back onto the side. So here the roof panels are coming back on. The house is sitting on its foundation. The roof panels are coming back in. Again, all of these have been rebuilt. And if you look up, you can see the difference in the timber. You'll see the newer timber and the older timber. This building was actually twice as long, and this wall burned, became the edge of the wall, or became the back of the building when the back half of this building burned. Siding coming back in, we had to take this wall completely apart because it was so badly deteriorated. All the siding was numbered. Each piece went back exactly where it was, and the siding, you can see the siding coming back in this particular case. And that is the restored wall, and it looks just like it did when we hauled it out, just as bad as it did. I mean, and that was imperative. When we went back to the National Trust and presented this project, they scratched their head and said, "Why? Why do you want to do this? This is ridiculous. There's nothing about that building that is worth saving." This is the National Trust. But they bought into it. We did it, and everything came back, and the building became just a wonderful icon for Park City. And I can tell you that the mayor of Park City was very, very happy. He was truly concerned that we wouldn't be able to get the building back together again. And so the purpose of all of this was the distillery, just an amazing piece of equipment. I hope some of you will take the time to really look at the distillery. The craftsmanship of that piece of equipment is absolutely astounding. And finally, High West Distillery and Saloon, and my hat goes off to David Perkins, who really and truly had a vision for this building and was willing to front the money to see it realized. And it was not without enormous risk. This is the first whiskey distillery in the state of Utah. It only could happen because the laws were changed that would allow it to happen. So that's our project, and I hope you enjoy the building. Thank you.